Mitchell, or you can be like Reynolds and Skiffle. Give it a Johnston and he'll get triple. Pass it to Cleary, you know he'll run the pitch. Score points like Jabojevic, I'm game day fit, no need a switch. Cooking up like Cookie Man's in the kitchen. Who's that on the wing? It's Sivo. Score, try and do the Gafrino. Don't get too rowdy or too keen or you'll end up like Hassan Tino. Get a 40-20 like BCE. Run the ball like hectic cheese. Support runner, that's Pappenhausen, but I still got Teddy at the SCG.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the Final Siren Podcast, or welcome to the Final Siren Podcast. If you're new, make sure, if you are new, to subscribe to our YouTube channel. We've got plenty of other sports content coming in the next few weeks and months. But we've got our suits on tonight. We've all got a bit of a fancy dress thing going on. We haven't really labeled what it's for, but I'm subconsciously, I'm thinking it's because we're moving on from NRL content for now. As you can see, obviously, Davos and I with the beanie. Sadly, Faraz couldn't find a beanie, but that's all right. We love you, Faraz.
I couldn't find my Panthers beanie. Sorry, unfortunately.
Oh, yeah. Couldn't find his Panthers beanie, his Cowboys beanie, his Cowboys beanie, his Sharks beanie. You couldn't find any of it. So, but today we've got something a bit different. We've got a T20 World Cup review. We're going to mainly be talking about Australia throughout the actual tournament, and then we'll actually at the finals games of which Australia weren't part of, sadly, which is just so weird. A T20 World Cup being played in Australia, and Australia aren't even in the top 4 teams. Boys, what did you make of Australia's, just off first look, what did you make of Australia's T20 World Cup campaign? We'll go into each game individually soon, but what did you make of it? Either of you can start off.
I'll let Davis go first. Why not?
Yeah, cheers, Faraz. It was pretty poor, to be honest. We never really got going, to be honest. It all started from that first game against New Zealand where we got absolutely pumped, and then we never actually gained some momentum. Yes, we beat Sri Lanka, we beat Ireland, but, they're more of the lower tiers. And, yes, we didn't play England, and people will be like, if we played England, we probably would have made we never know because it was never actually played. Whereas, and then we also played Afghanistan, but that wasn't even convincing at all. So to be very honest, I don't think we even deserve to play in the finals, as much as it pains me to say.
That is fair. Yeah, Faraz, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, it's disappointing as an Aussie fan, but even as a neutral, you all thought that probably Australia were going to go back-to-back or at least be in the final. I mean, they won the comp in the UAE last year, and now they didn't make it to the semis at home. I mean, it's pretty disappointing for the home crowd, especially seeing the other nations fly their colours. But look, it never really got going for us. Yes, we probably had a big win against Sri Lanka Storms when Bizarre brought that Melbourne Stars form. But honestly, apart from that, who else were we really convinced against? We played Ireland. We had them 25-5. I think the deal's part was 105 if we wanted to go over England's net run rate. We somehow let them score 130. Against Afghanistan, Rashid Khan nearly stole it from us. So, I mean, that match tells you all about Australia's position right now in T20 cricket. So, look, it's a disappointing tournament for sure. But when you say it's not that bad, 3 out of 4, just look at who we played. And going off by form, I think England obliterated us, honestly.
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, there's a few warm-up matches. Australia we only played one warm-up match, did we? For the actual T20 World Cup, we did play a series against England first, of which we won none of the games. Wow, honestly. Then the T20 World Cup warm-up match against India, we lost.
Oh, don't forget as well, mate. The West Indies, we just barely beat the West Indies. We didn't even make it there.
Yeah, which is that's honestly really how. Then obviously the World Cup T20, our first game, New Zealand started off well with 3 for 200, and we got all out for 111 after 17.1 overs, which is just dreadful. That's horrible. The WBBL could do better at that point. The next game against Sri Lanka, we won. But I mean that was probably our most convincing win, you'd have to say. The other games not so much. Then again, obviously, like Dave said, against England, match abandoned without a ball bowled. You could argue if we played that game and if we won, we probably could have made it. But I don't really buy into it. I reckon England would have flogged us that game, to be fair. Against Ireland, against Ireland was definitely probably our most convincing win. bowling them all out for 137, making 5 off 179, only 5 wickets down in the end after 20 overs. So that was a decent performance. But again, that's Ireland. That's not one of your top teams like England or New Zealand. Pakistan did great. Obviously, we weren't in their group, but still. And like Afghanistan, like they nearly came back. And I mean, that's sort of where it ended for us. We needed some big wins towards the end of the tournament. We didn't end up getting them. And in the end, we finished third, which was just outside. Obviously, England and New Zealand finishing above us in the Super 12 for Group 1. And obviously, India and Pakistan finishing the top 2 in Group 2. Boys, what did you make of like the performances combined? Feel free to have a little rant here about this one.
Well, David Warner, mate, were you in 2018 when you got suspended? Where was that for? You literally won Man of the Series in the UAE last year. Where did you go missing, big boy? Aaron Finch, look. Aaron Finch, look. We all know Aaron Finch is not the same batsman he once was. I'm pretty sure we all get that by now. But when you go based off the stats, I honestly think Finch was one of our best batsmen, which is just like, that just tells you the story itself. Like, he was our second most leading run scorer as well. So, honestly, I'm going to stop there because that really just tells you a lot about the batting. The only one that honestly just showed up every game was Marcus Stoinis. Yes, Maxwell played a great innings against Afghanistan, but where was that in the last 4 games? You're supposed to be one of our experienced T20 players.
I'm sorry, I'm still laughing at David Warner, the big boy from last series. Dave, what about you, mate?
Look, to be honest, there's only 2 players in Australia's World Cup team that get a pass mark. For me, it's Marcus Stoinis and Josh Hazlewood. Those are the only 2 players that get a pass mark.
What
the
about
rest
Zampa?
were just...
I know Zampa was still good.
Yeah, you can give Zampa a pass mark. Yes, he didn't get the wickets, but he was very economical, except that game against New Zealand. But no one was good against New Zealand. But I thought that those 3 were pretty good for us. The rest were just horrible. Warner was shocking. Finch never got going. Mitch Marsh didn't show that form that he did in the World Cup. Maxwell had his moments. Tim David and Matthew Wade barely got a bat. Stark and Cummins were, in my opinion, they were horrible with the ball.
Cummins isn't a T20 bowler. I'm just saying he's not a T20 bowler.
Ellis, but
where is Nathan Ellis at? Where's Riley Moder at? I would rather see Mark Steckity running in right now than Pat Cummins at T20. I'm not even joking.
Mark Steckity's good, bro. What are you on about?
That's what I'm saying. Why do these players get an opportunity? We play Big Bash for a reason.
Yeah, we know Cummins was only really there because he's captain of the Test side.
Paddy Cummins.
It's exactly just because of his name. I don't think he's not a T20 bowler. He's a good one-day international bowler. I mean, like you look currently. I'm still not sure how did England get to 287, like 9 for 287. I mean, we're going good now. David Warner 82 off 76, and Steve Smith 33 from 25. But holy crap! Actually, we're performing very well. But how did we let England get that far?
I don't know.
I honestly don't know. I don't know if we have that same sort of mongrel and fire pack into us. Like we're still a top tier side, but I just don't know if we are the same side from the 2005s and all that, the 2015s World Cup side and all that.
I'm sorry. Wait, I'm sorry. Right here, right now. There was 9 wickets again. You're telling me that we let Dawood Milan score 134. I'm sorry. This is not even T20 World Cup related right now. I'm only just checking the score right now and seeing that obviously Australia look like they're going to win this game. Don't quote me on it because we probably could choke. 94 runs from 23 overs should be. That should be.
Yeah, it should be a win. Yeah. So.
But how did we let Dawood Milan get 134 runs? Big shout out to Davey Warner, 82 from 77. Absolute tank so far. 69 from 57 for Travis Head. And Steve Smith, 34 of 26. They're all going very well at the moment. It's just...
Also, I also want to ask you guys, what do you think about Steve Smith's future in the team? Obviously, he played the 1 match, made a brilliant innings of 4, had a huge contribution.
You probably saw me saying that Steve Smith should be in the side. But I don't think he should be in the side now. I just think we need to blood. I reckon Australia, what they need to do for next T20 World Cup, Just blood all of the youngsters. Blood. I
Okay,
know.
so who are
like,
some of the players that you're looking at right now? Like, and
I want Meredith to play.
I
I want Meredith to play. I want Josh Philippi to play. I want Josh English to play. I want Nathan Ellis to play. I want even some of the blokes like Matt Kelly from the Scorchers or Berendorf or Jai Richardson.
Why the lack of Heat players there, mate? Where's
Oh,
the Heat players?
he'd have some deep. Like even Mitch Swepson, he's a good bowler.
Yeah,
Why don't you play him? Yeah.
List two other Heat players.
I didn't name any Stars players. I could have named a Stars player, but I'm not going to.
Well, because obviously Mitch, sorry.
Yeah, because who do you have?
Marcus Stoinis is safe. He's safe.
Oh,
He's
for
safe.
sure.
And honestly, a bit later in this episode, we could discuss possibly our future teams.
Yeah, well, I don't get
going soon. But
keep in mind, I still think that Warner would be best to open, but he could retire from the format. He is not getting any younger, so you got to think about the future. This is one player I would also like to see play. I don't know how to pronounce his name. Noah, you probably know him. Like, I think his name is Matthew Kuhneman, the spinner. He plays for Heat.
Kuhneman.
I honestly think they have to give him more chances. He would be good in the West.
He is good. Didn't he get a debut? Like nearly get a
Yeah,
debut?
sure, like
he
that.
got
He
called
got-
into
he
the
got-
Australian
he got two
squad or
wickets.
something.
Yeah, he got 2 wickets on his
but-
debut or something.
What was that? What form was that? Was that
One day
T20 or one day?
Yeah,
He was. Yeah.
he has a skill set.
I'm not sure. I'm not sure how he's not consistently making the Brisbane Heat side, if I'm completely honest. But
And look,
I mean,
look who
now that Majib is gone,
Yeah.
this
this is a great chance for Kuhneman to step up and show his guys. And guess who we keep picking with? Even if there's like no Cummins and all that, we're picking Kane Richardson for God's sake.
I don't like Kane. I've never rated Kane.
They were zero.
Where's Jai Richardson? The better Richardson.
Are we
Where's
picking the
Scott
wrong-
Boland? He's a T20 bowler. Oh,
Boland
it's
6
it's agony. It's pain. Where's Scotty Boland? He is legit. He's a T20 specialist. That you could argue that's probably one of his best. That's probably his best format of the game. I think Test match. I mean, after the MCG test, you can tell me anything about Scotty Boland, I'd probably believe it. But honestly, the selections are terrible. You can't tell me Paddy Cummins is a T20 bowler. He is not.
He's not.
Stark is. Stark's a good, a decent
And
T20
we dropped
bowler.
him. And we dropped the cunt out of the last game.
Hey, okay, Hazelwood, I love him. He's awesome. He's not a T20 bowler either. I'm sorry. He's one-day international and test matches.
He was
I
one
love
of
him.
the-
He was legit our best fast bowler. He legit was the
He
only
was
reason
one of the
why
better
we didn't-
players, though. And like, if you're gonna go with a full test attack, look at Cummins, Stark, and Hazelwood. Like, Hazelwood was our best. Like, even with Stark is a white ball specialist, but he's not the same bowler he once was 7 years ago.
Yeah, I honestly reckon this because
So, do we go with a
What-
new pace attack? Do we take all of those 3 names and let them?
Not
focus on
all
one
of them out. I reckon the only ones we keep from
I'll
this.
keep Hazelwood.
You keep Hazelwood and you keep Zampa. That's it. The rest can piss off. I'm
yeah,
sorry.
Zampa has to.
Even Stark.
Zampa has to be our spinner.
Oh,
He's one. I reckon he's the best Australian.
Honestly,
T20.
Zampa is the most
spinner.
improved. Zampa is the most improved player in Australia cricket by a country mile.
Mm.
Remember when that guy was just new to the scene and everyone just bashed him? Now look at him,
Yeah.
best of the business.
But honestly, I think like this is a hot take. Sorry, this has nothing to do with T20, but I'm enjoying the conversation we're having right now. I think because apparently there's discussion that in future Test matches, for instance, overseas where the ball might spin a bit more, Australia are thinking of taking 2 spinners.
Yeah.
Oh no, you're muted.
Sorry, usually in that case, Hazelwood's the one to be dropped in that sort of situation.
Oh my god.
You guys
If
hear
you
me?
drop any fast bowler from the test team, it's gonna be Stark. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I mean, I used to love Stark and I still do, but he's just he's just going.
Well,
like-
that's my
Yeah,
hot
look,
take. My
The
hot
thing is,
take
I
is.
still think Stark has a
Oh,
lot.
sorry.
I think Stark.
Keep going.
Sorry, mate. I think Stark has a lot to offer. But if you're gonna go out of 2, like if you're looking at those 3, right? Pat Cummins, Josh Hazelwood, Mitchell Stark, all 3 play every format. So you'd probably erase Cummins from T20. You'd probably take out Hazelwood from T20 as well because you want him to focus on one-day cricket and test. So honestly, that's why I'm saying, do we just change our attack completely? Because like at the end of the
No,
day,
don't drop Hazelwood though. Don't drop Hazelwood.
but no, I'm not saying drop Hazelwood. But at the end of the day, like, wouldn't you mind like bringing in some youngster and letting Hazelwood focus?
No,
on
I'm
test
not
cricket?
saying not to. I'm not saying to not bring him in. I want them to bring him in. I just don't think dropping Hazelwood is the right decision.
And also,
you're going to drop Cummins and you're going to drop Stark.
And where's Michael Nisa? What more does the bloke need to do?
Yeah, I feel sorry for him. He's actually quite good. He's playing for the Heat this year.
Well, one thing is, like as I was saying before, they're talking about in the future test series, now changing to 2 spinners in the test series. So obviously it'll be Lyon, I'm guessing Swepson. And obviously if you're doing that, you'll have to like Cameron Green safe because he's an all-rounder. And then Cameron's is safe, he's captain, and that's between Stark and Hazelwood. And sadly, I think Hazelwood's the one that's going to miss out, but it has to be Stark.
If you told me if you can only pick one from the test for the test team, you pick Hazelwood. Hazelwood is the most consistent fast bowler in the world, in my opinion.
Hot take: if you're telling me I can only pick one from the test team, I'm taking Pat Cummins.
No. Out of Stark and Hazelwood, you take Hazelwood though, because
Stark and Hazelwood, yes.
Stark is very hit and miss for me. When he's on, he's the best bowler in the world. When he's
off, he leaks a lot of runs.
Yeah, I know. That's what I'm saying. He leaks runs. Hazelwood doesn't leak runs.
And even if Hazelwood does leak runs, because as a pace bowler, you got to admit you're gonna leak runs at times. But like Hazelwood has good variation. Hazelwood can swing the ball and he can nip the ball back in. He's got the ad swinging outside. Cummins is just too predictable in T20, I feel.
Welcome to the chat, Daisy Khan. Ellis for Cummins and Stark needs to focus on white ball.
I think Stark's white ball. I honestly think because Test cricket, if you're going off Test cricket, I would take Cummins and Hazelwood any day. I think you two would agree.
I agree. I agree with you. I think we should talk about.
We need to go to the T20 World Cup.
Yeah.
Sorry, but good discussion, boys. We'll definitely need to have a big chat about the Test some other time. I think when are we playing the West Indies? That's sometime soon.
Yeah, it's Boxing Day, I think.
30 November first Test.
Yeah, 30th. We'll be covering that. We will be talking a bit about that. Obviously, we won't be doing like live commentary or anything like that because that is it'd take a lot of time to do that, especially over a 5-day period. But so overall, boys, I think we've all discussed what our T20 thoughts were with Australia. We're going to quickly go to a tier list. We've been loving the tier list of lately. What the fuck is that ad? I'm so sorry. What is that ad?
I got no clue.
We're gonna. Anyway, we're gonna first off just start with England because I've made a tier separately for them because obviously they were the best team in this tournament. They deserve it.
Would you put Pakistan up there or no? Because they made the final.
No. That's solely for England. Then down the bottom is just for the teams who didn't make it. So Scotland, I believe this is
Namibia.
Yep.
We've got a question. It says also, should Green play T20 as an opener when Warner or Finch retires? Probably not. I would definitely have him in the side, but not as an opener. I reckon.
Well, the interesting thing is that like before the World Cup started, we had a series to India, and Green was opening, and he got a 50. He got a score of 50. And against the Windies, I think he got a 50 as well. So he averages 40 as an opener, but I think you need a proper opener there because Green was still not consistent.
Green's a gun, don't get me wrong. I love Cameron Green, but I don't think he's an opener. I think I reckon he should bat at number 3.
And you also like Gray out of the death as well.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, I haven't seen enough from Green for him to be in like a T20 opener.
Yeah, test for sure.
I know he did great in the games he did open, but I want to see him in the BBL. Like if he plays in the BBL as an opener and does a good job there, then look at that.
I doubt he will because he's going to be on test summer duties.
Yeah, it's very true. And Scorchers have a stacked lineup as is. Yeah. I don't think they'll miss him very much. No. I've obviously put the teams in that didn't make the Super 12, which was Scotland. Sorry, can someone help me with this name again?
Scotland, Namibia, UAE, West Indies.
Thank you very much. I'm not sure. I couldn't remember what it was. I couldn't remember how to pronounce it. Thank you, boys.
Oh,
now we will actually get to the actual tier rankings. Those are just there for that. We'll start off with Afghanistan, boys. So I'll quickly, before I start with Afghanistan, I'll pull up the T20 World Cup ladder so I can quickly tell you their record and where they finished. So Afghanistan finished last in Group 1 with 0 wins and 3 losses. Boys, where are you placing Afghanistan with those?
Can I be honest with you? Like they're going to be in bad for sure, but if you're an Afghanistan fan, you would be really pissed this tournament because if you're an Afghanistan fan that came to Australia, 2 of their games really got washed out. You lost 2 games without any ball bowled. Like, just imagine the anger. Like, you've been waiting a year for this World Cup tournament to start. Afghanistan, a team on the rise in T20 cricket. Everyone wants to watch it. Rashid Khan, all that. You've got 2 full games washed out. So that pisses off the fans so much. Well, so they played Australia. They nearly beat Australia, so that was a good effort. Who else did they play?
They played
Sri Lanka and
They
England.
lost there.
Well,
Yeah, they
England,
lost.
you can't really do much, and they were actually not bad that game as well. They took it to England towards the end. Sri Lanka just outplayed them, the Asia Cup champions right there. But look, they're going to be in bad because they didn't win any games. But I saw a lot of good signs there for sure. Rashid Khan, for obvious reasons, that innings in the last game against Australia. I think someone like Mujib, their spin attack, Gurbaz at the top. Gurbaz is an amazing player. There's a few. I think Afghanistan will be on the rise in this format for sure. There's a few exciting players. Yes, they didn't win any games, but the fact that they nearly beat Australia in Australian conditions says a lot. They'll be there.
You know what? I was gonna go bad. Also, type in the chat what you think. I'm gonna go decent. Looking at their record, yes, they didn't win
I
a game.
agree.
Yes, they
I
placed
agree.
last. But to be fair to them, England, they got bowled out for 112 Afghanistan, and it took England 18.1 overs to make 113. Like, you don't do to England. Australia got 168 for 8, and then Afghanistan finished with 164. Like, they were four runs off sending it to a super over. Sri Lanka, yes, Sri Lanka only had like an over and a half left. And then Ireland, the game got washed out. They would have won against Ireland, is my thought. And and against New Zealand, obviously New Zealand, they probably would have lost that. They would have lost that. But for me, it's decent. I honestly, if I'm in Afghanistan, I'm holding my head high. I'm proud of that cricket team because they nearly gave it to Australia in Australia. Then they did their best to England, and like, what more could you ask of your team? Who's not one of the big 4 teams. I consider the big 4 teams at the moment probably to be England, Australia, New Zealand, and probably India. Pakistan did play very, very well.
And T20, it's about T20 specifically, guys.
Yeah. So yeah, hold your heads high there, Afghanistan fans. But Davos, what do you reckon? Where are you putting them?
I agree with you boys. Actually, like, I'll put them in decent. Yes, they didn't win a game.
I'll change it to decent then. Yeah,
because I'll tell you why. Because I actually went to the New Zealand Afghanistan game. Yes, it got washed out, but I honestly thought they would have probably beaten, or not beaten, but they would have definitely made a challenge for New Zealand. Because if you think about it, right, I kind of had an inkling that Afghanistan wouldn't have a great tournament because they're more suited to like the subcontinent conditions, like India, UAE, Sri Lanka. Whereas like on Australia pitches, it's more about like your pace and your swing and bounce and stuff like that. But they still played well. I mean, Rashid Khan, the bloke's an absolute freak. You don't have to say much about him. Mujib, I thought, was pretty good. They've got some good They've got some good power hitters as well. So I honestly think.
So who would you say would be the standout player for Afghanistan?
Rashid, 100%.
I would say
I didn't watch too many Afghanistan games, so I can't give.
Yes, you say Rashid.
I would say that Faruqi guy, because Afghanistan, they don't have a lot of good paces. So that Faruqi guy with a new ball, he can swing it in, he can swing it out.
He was good, actually. Yeah.
Because Rashid Khan's the obvious one.
Welcome to the chat, Luke, Melbourne Storm fan. Congratulations on your team winning the T20 World Cup, buddy. Good on you. Congratulations to England. They did really well. We'll quickly go through England's. You reckon who was England's standout player? Because obviously for the teams that didn't make the Super 12. There's only one player.
It's got to be Sam Curran. If it's not Sam Curran, I don't know who else you're going to get.
Or Josh Butler.
Or Josh Butler as well.
Butler for sure. But Sam Curran won them the games.
Sam Curran.
Sam
Curran was great.
Man of the tournament for that guy.
Sam Curran's a beast.
Look, we all probably hate England here for a fact, but if there's one guy I actually like and respect, I like Sam Curran. I know it's part English, but
I don't hate England, but when we play them, I hate them. So, yeah. Okay, I like they're my second team any other time. Any other time they're my second team.
I'll be very honest. I don't particularly like England, but there are some players that I do respect, and 2 of them are the 2 players you guys just mentioned in Butler and Curran.
And I think England showed Australia how to play T20 cricket, picking the right players and formulas for this team. They had Michael Hussey as an appointed coach that sucked for us Aussie fans. Looking at the pictures, him celebrating with the English, and then also Matthew Mott, who was in the Australian women's coaching
You know,
side. But
I'll tell you what I think England have that you probably agree with me, Faraz. Australia lack quality all-rounders.
yes,
Look at England. Look
agree.
at England. They got Moeen Ali, who's probably one of their best spinners who can bat. Right?
Sam
They've
Curran
got
can bat.
Sam Curran, Ben Stokes,
Wokes.
Livingston. They bat till I'm not
They
joking.
bat till 10. It's not even funny. It's
They
not
bat
even
till
funny.
1
How
to
does a
11.
team bat
It's
till
not
10?
funny.
That is.
Sam Curran is the player we want Mitchell Marsh to be. And don't get me wrong, Mitchell Marsh, yeah, he has moments, but Mitchell Marsh just throws his wicket away at times, and he doesn't even bowl anymore, does he?
Yeah, that is fair. So we're going for England standout, Sam Curran. Afghanistan, I said couldn't judge. I think, who did you say Faraz for Afghanistan?
I had Faruqi.
Faruqi. Okay. Now, we'll head to Bangladesh. I'm pretty sure, Faraz, isn't this your tied first team, like your team other than Aussies? If they both went up against each other, are you going for Aussies here, or you going for Bangladesh?
No, I'll say it's tough, really.
Or are you watching? Or in that case, are you watching as a mutual?
To be honest, I was going for Australia because I had more hopes would actually make it to the semis, but the cunts let me down. Fuck's sake. So yeah, no, we'll just go with
if they came up against each other in a T20 match today. Who would you be going for there?
Well, you probably remember them playing last year in Bangladesh. I was a Bangladesh fan, so you'd probably say Bangladesh.
They were you don't have to say they were horrible last year, Bangladesh, but
anyway, so Bangladesh.
You didn't have to bring that up, Amos. No, I'm joking.
They finished fifth in their group
out of 6. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie.
With 2 wins and 3 losses.
Can I be honest? Totally. If you compare this to last year's World Cup, like last year's World Cup, Bangladesh, they came last. They didn't win a single fucking game, yeah? But honestly, this year, considering we've lost the likes of Mushfiqur Rahim, Tamim Iqbal, Mahmudullah, all those experienced players retired, you look at that team, like Shanto just came into the T20 side. People like Ibadat Hussain are playing their first few games in the T20 format. Yes, Bangladesh aren't a big name team in T20s. They're a much better one-day team for sure, but I'm going to give them decent. They should have beat India. You could argue they got robbed. Against Pakistan, their batting wasn't too great, but they still pushed them to the 18th over with what they got. And if they took their chances, they might have won that game. They obviously beat Netherlands and like Zimbabwe in front of them, that 2 blockbuster games that they got pumped by South Africa. But honestly, just generally, the performances itself, they played much better than the rankings suggest.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially with the 2 wins and 3 losses. I'm surprised they finished second last. What about you, Dave?
South Africa are the biggest chokers in the world.
Yeah, I thought Bangladesh actually had a pretty good tournament, to be honest. Like, I honestly thought they were robbed against India. Like, I thought they played really well. I mean, Linton Das, he got off to he was a fabulous player that day. And I honestly thought like the likes of, Linton Das, you got Tuscan Ahmed. I thought what's his name? I thought Shakib was good. They've got a lot of talent, Bangladesh. It's just all about putting it together. I'm also going to put them in decent, but I reckon put them ahead of Afghanistan, because
I agree.
And I reckon the player of the tournament for Bangladesh, it's a toss-up between Linton Das and you got Tuscan, but
I'm going to go Tuscan because the reason why I'm going Tuscan is because he was consistent all games. Like Linton Das, he was good, but there were some games he was bad, some games he was good.
Yeah. Bangladesh's only bad game came against South Africa, but that was the first game of the tournament. And, apart from that, they're honestly really good. So you put them in decent.
I'm not even going to lie. If this was an ODI World Cup, which is not, I honestly think Bangladesh would be probably 5th or 6th because they're a quality ODI side. But as a T20 side, these teams like Afghanistan, Bangladesh, because T20 is such an unpredictable format. We already saw the big upsets like Netherlands beating South Africa, Ireland beating England, for example. All these teams just need is more players to come through the system because Bangladesh and Afghanistan economically don't have a lot to choose from money-wise.
Aren't Bangladesh top 6 in ODIs? I'm not too sure.
Well, no, they are 7th on the rankings, but if you go on current form, you'd probably say they're 6th. Yeah.
Yeah. I want to quickly point out I did not watch many games other than Australian games and a few England games. I didn't really watch too many in the World Cup. But I did hear of that. How do you pronounce his name? Taskin.
Yeah.
I did hear of him, and everyone has been saying he was good during the World Cup. So I'm gonna have to go with him because from what I've heard and seen, he was good for Bangladesh. And I'll agree with you boys and decent. Looking on their record purely, you have to say you really can't go anywhere else there.
Wait, Fraz, we've got a question for you specifically. We got, can Bangladesh do better in next T20 World Cup?
Oh, well, the next T20 World Cup is in 2024.
I think Bangladesh can, to be honest.
It really depends on. Okay, look, they've got the talent to beat anyone on their day, but it also depends on the combinations of the team. Like if they can get good openers, if they can get someone to support Taskin, why not? But I'm gonna say they'll still probably be a lower ranked side, but they'll be better for sure. They'll win games for sure, but yeah, they'll be slightly better. Not much though.
Yeah, definitely. Now, before we go into Australia, we are going to very quickly. I reckon we do a poll. I reckon we do a poll in the chat, and we ask who has the best suit on tonight. Well, obviously, there's a bit of friendly competition here. Who has the best suit tonight? I'll post it in the chat. We'll wait for the votes to come in. I'll keep it up in the chat pretty much for the whole stream. So Noah, Davos, and Faraz. Now, boys. Okay, it's up in the chat. Who has the best suit? Make sure to vote on that one right now. There's 3 people in the chat. If one person votes for each person, then that's just going to be funny. Now, Australia. Where to start?
I think we already really ranted about them earlier, so there's no need.
See, the thing is, Australia did finish 3rd, but up to their standards, it was a bad tournament. And
it was a horrible tournament, to be honest.
That is all I'm saying. I'm not saying anything else on that. Oh. Now, make sure you vote.
You put them bad. Yeah, I put them bad. Honestly, for their expectations and standards, they need lost Afghanistan, bro. Like, no disrespect to Afghanistan as well, but like for Australian standards and Australian conditions, that was just bad. I'm gonna have to put him bad, unfortunately.
And who's your player of the tournament? Who's your player of the tournament?
Stoinis. No one else.
Stoinis, definitely.
I'd say Stoinis, yeah.
Hazelwood was pretty good for us as well. But
you know why I'm saying Stoinis, though? Because Stoinis won us the game against Sri Lanka, and that got our run rate slightly better.
Yeah, definitely. By the way, ladies and gents, boys, we've just reached 120 subs. Before I think we're on 118. So thank you to the 2 people tonight who have decided to subscribe. Thank you very much. And the poll is currently 33% for each person. So it's a complete tie. I think that just all means we all look pretty dapper tonight, boys, if I'm being completely honest. But Australia, nothing else to really be said. Bad tournament for them. Type in the chat, by the way, what you think of Australia's tournament. Next is Netherlands. Where to start?
Honestly, where to start? The South Africa game is where we start, boy. The biggest upset in T20 cricket in 2022. Take that, South Africa, you choking dogs. No, I'm joking. But
I think now looking at the Netherlands record, very quickly, 2 wins, 3 losses, a net run rate of negative 0.849. So only just really a bit above Bangladesh, which I think honestly means they go in decent above Bangladesh.
Yeah, put them in decent.
I'm not sure. Do you agree with that, Faraz?
Well, but it's an interesting one because, like, when they played each other, Bangladesh did beat Netherlands, but Netherlands also beat South Africa in an upset. But I think consistency also plays a part because this team also lost to Zimbabwe. But
look, I think in my opinion,
we essentially got robbed against India, so we should essentially be higher. Because South Africa
I'm happy to put Netherlands behind.
If you want to put Netherlands ahead, sure, because they finished high on the ladder, but it's really close.
It was only really net run rate. So I reckon in between Bangladesh and Afghanistan.
You know what? Let's just go Netherlands. They beat a better opposition than us, so we'll go Netherlands.
I'm going to go based on the fact that Bangladesh beat Netherlands. I reckon in the middle.
Okay, fair enough.
India next. Ooh, India.
Oh,
4-1. 4-1. One of the better teams this tournament. Finished first in Group 2. 4 wins, 1 loss. A net run rate of plus 1.319. Virat Kohli their player of the tournament easily. Who was
wait,
Netherlands, by the way?
Kohli?
Yeah. Sorry. Virat Kohli. For me, at least. I'm not sure about you.
I put Sky in there. I put Suryakumar Yadav. I thought he was pretty good.
Yeah, actually, that is a good shout. India, I think, were one of the only other teams that I watched a game of. In that game, Virat Kohli popped off, so that's probably why I'm going with that. 4 viewers in the chat right now. Make sure you to vote on who has the best suit on tonight.
What's the vote
I think at the moment, Faraz and I are at 29% and Davos is at 43%. So Davos currently winning the best suit award. Hopefully that changes because, I didn't put on this little number to lose. But, no. India, what were your boys' thoughts? Where are you placing them? I think we all will really agree here, so I'll just put them here as a placeholder for now. 4-1. Virat Kohli, Yadav, great tournament for everyone in India. What's your thoughts? Let's hear a bit of discussion on it.
Oh boy, the Indians. Well, they are one of the biggest cricketing nations we have in our game right now. Yeah, look, India were always expected to make the semis. Let's not beat around the bush. They've got some high-class players, Kohli, Yadav. They obviously missed the likes of Bumrah, Jadeja, but, they still went well. Like, players like Arshdeep Singh and all that, they stepped up big time. Yeah, look, the way they finished their tournament, though, it's honestly, it felt like a waste of a tournament with how they finished India. Look, I'm not going to lie. I'm not the biggest fan of India cricket. They're fans, players, but they are a quality top-tier side. But the way they finished, losing by 10 wickets, that really must have hurt a lot. And it's going to send a lot of questions to the Indian team.
Boys, more news. Update on the suits. We're all tied at 33% again. There's been 9 votes. There has been 9 votes, and we're all tied again. Oh my goodness. We're all dapper tonight. We're all really looking good. I'd personally vote for Lockie if he was here. He wouldn't be willing to put on a suit. You already know
Seems
that,
like
right?
you love Lockie, eh?
I'm
joking.
Yeah, India, great tournament. Davos, do you want to have your say? Have you had your say yet?
Yeah, I thought they actually had a pretty good tournament, but obviously the way they ended was pretty poor. I thought that their probably player of the tournament was Suryakumar Yadav and Virat Kohli. But I liked some of their players that came on, like Ashdeep, I thought was very good. I honestly thought India might not even make it because of I knew they'd make it, but I didn't.
What did you make of Mohammad Shami, Davos?
He was good in patches.
Do you think he was wasted? Because he didn't even bowl 4 overs a game. He bowled 2-3 overs here.
He was all right. He wasn't great, but he was solid. But no, I thought their Ashdeep bowled. I thought Hardik Pandya had a good tournament. But something needs to be done about their openers though. Like Karl Rahul and Sharma.
He's the biggest fraud.
Rahul.
Rohit Sharma's a good player for sure, but
Rohit Sharma's a gun. Rahul just makes bloody runs in the IPL, and then because he wants to win the cap, and then does nothing.
Can I just give a shout out to Sky though? This man just debuted last year. I know, and he's in top 5 already. He's 31, and look at the way he's playing. Unbelievable.
Yeah.
Some of the shots he has, there's a reason why people call him 360. And Virat Kohli, Kohli wasn't in the best of form before this tournament. There was an Asia Cup before this tournament started, right? And there was this period for 3 years. Kohli did not get an international century. He broke that against Afghanistan, sure. Probably could have been match fixing. Who knows? It was just Afghanistan. But that match against India, that game against Pakistan, sorry, my bad. That shows Kohli's class. That match defines Kohli as not only a player, but as a servant and character of Indian cricket.
Yeah, definitely. I agree. The poll, 13 votes. We haven't even had 13 viewers on. What the heck? Tell your friends to get in there. Tell your friends to vote on what they're seeing right now. I'm not even sure what's happening.
Who's winning the vote? Is it still tight?
Right now, Davos, it's very tight right now. Davos at 38%. Me and you, Faraz, both tied at 31%.
Oh,
Uh,
jeez.
It's a close vote, this one. It's very close. And the only thing is, if someone votes for either me or Faraz, we go tied with Davos. So
Honestly, I'm not even gonna lie. I think Noah has the best suit, in my opinion. But yeah,
No,
I can't
Niall's
vote.
gonna.
I'm going Davos, mate. I'm going I mean, here, let's see the little set. I've got the little vest going on at the moment.
This
as well.
is this
But
is my
Davos has
best
got
suit.
Davos has got the cool shirt going on. I love how we're all just complimenting each other and not even talking about
I
the T20
agree.
World Cup. Ireland. This one's a bit of a tough one. They finished fifth.
I love them for one thing, though. Ireland, they beat England. I love them for that, though. That was a huge upset.
If I'm
One
being
win
honest,
and 3 losses.
look, you're gonna probably call me delusional, but I honestly think they had a good
You are
tournament.
delusional at times, so I'm joking. I'm joking.
I'll tell you why, right? Yes, they only had one win, but think
Yeah.
about it. They knocked off England, which no one expected them to do. They actually played pretty well against. I watched the New Zealand. Yes, they got bowled out for like 120, but like they actually bowled pretty well to New Zealand, and they restricted New Zealand to like 170 odd when New Zealand
And
were
they
like,
weren't that bad against Australia.
yeah, and they weren't that bad against Australia. Whereas, I honestly thought they had a good tournament. Like some of their players actually were pretty good. Like I thought that little guy, he was really good for them.
Lachlan Suka or Josh Little or the bowler.
Josh Little, the left armor,
My
yeah.
bad, bro.
But I honestly think you can put him in good because I honestly thought they had a good tournament.
Yeah, that's fair. I think I'm going to go decent just because they only did win one game, although it was against England, which was a very big win for them. I think, it's just one of those things. I don't really think. I'm gonna go top of decent, but I want to hear Faraz. Faraz has got the deciding go here.
Oh, you know what?
All on your shoulders.
I'm gonna go bad. The reason why I'm going bad is because you look at teams like Netherlands, Afghanistan, Ireland, for example, maybe Zimbabwe. You put them in that category together. Like Ireland, just before this tournament, they were playing some really, really good cricket. Like they nearly beat India twice. They should have beat New Zealand in ODI. They had some really good form going to this tournament. And I know, yes, they did beat England, and that counts for something big as well. It's going to go in the history books. But realistically, even if you look at that game was still far from over. And England still needed like 40 runs from 6 overs. And you probably think England were going to win that game. So, Rain, look, I love the upset. I'm going to keep watching it forever. But Rain did play a part in that tournament for them as well with that win. But look, no doubt they're going to be a side to be reckoned with, at least in T20 cricket. But for their standards, I just think that they've been here for a long time. They've got the players, and they were actually close in a few games that I feel like their standards should be high. I'm going to go bad, but not in a sense of like bad, but compared to the rest of the things, I think there was just more shining lights for the expectations. Because think about it this way, Netherlands are still not established side in cricket as well itself. Not just T20 cricket itself.
All right, so then do you reckon we put him in decent since, like, obviously I'm going good.
You can put him in decent if you want. I have no
I
problem
was
with
going bad, and so I was going, put him in decent because I honestly.
Yeah,
that. Bangladesh and Netherlands?
Oh, yes,
Yeah,
you got
I think so.
the good team next. New Zealand.
I think we already know where New Zealand are going. Behind India, in my opinion, just.
I actually reckon you probably put him ahead of India. I'll tell you what. I'm not trying to base it off one game, but it's like New Zealand. Like you're gonna probably call me delusional, but New Zealand actually like there was a stage where honestly I thought they might beat Pakistan in that semi because remember Pakistan was like slowly losing wickets, but whereas that India had like their fielding was horrible against England.
No, I can't in all good honestly put them ahead of. I mean, they're both like for instance,
They're both good. Don't get me wrong. I see a point. Like India did have a very good tournament.
Well, New Zealand finished top of Group 1, 3 wins and 1 loss. India finished top of Group 2 with 4 wins, 1 loss, obviously because one of New Zealand's games getting rained out. New Zealand had the better net run rate, but I just, in my opinion, I can't really put them ahead. I mean, I'm not sure if Faraz agrees with me. I prefer New Zealand over India, the teams, but I think India had the better tour. Oh, actually, I want to quickly check. How did India go in their final match?
They lost by 10 wickets.
Well, let's be honest here as well. I don't look. India did win 5 games, but they technically robbed Bangladesh and Pakistan.
I agree with Davos now. I reckon New Zealand.
Yeah.
I know it's silly because it's not going to count like that. At the end of the day, India won 5 games, but they technically robbed Bangladesh and Pakistan, so that should have been them.
And New Zealand almost beat England. It was only just that one hiccup that they had.
Look, can I be honest? Look, this is sugarcoating it, but for me, they're the same. But you got to pick one, and you got to go based off the semi-finals. And New Zealand actually took Pakistan to the last over, so I'm going to say New Zealand ahead of India. But I honestly think it was a disappointing tournament for the Kiwis because honestly, I'll tell you why this. Because considering how they started, they beat Australia in Australia. They set the tone up really well, and then they choked like that. They saved their worst for last against Pakistan. Then they lost to England, so they technically lost to the other good sides. So it was sort of like, yeah, they started really well. They had that one good game, but they didn't continue it. And they weren't like the finals.
You'd have to go Glenn Phillips. You have to go Glenn Phillips.
Oh, for sure.
Yeah,
I thought a player who had an underrated World Cup was Mitch Santner. I thought he was actually pretty good for them. He was good.
I think Kane Williamson needs to go from T20.
Look, I'll tell you what. I'm one of those people, and I'm guilty of it, and I'll admit it. But stop overhyping Finn Allen. I was one of those people. He is I want him to do well. Don't get me wrong, but he's the biggest hit and miss pick. Yeah. Like, what is he thinking taking on Shaheen Shah Afridi in the first over? Like, I get he's an aggressive player. That's his role to go and smack. But you can also do that. But you can also watch, like, you're facing one of the most scariest left arm bowlers in the world.
Yeah, very true. Hey, Jai Bisho, welcome to the chat, mate. Obviously,
mate.
a good friend of the page. He's been on here for a commentary before. Jai, make sure you vote in the chat who's got the best suit on tonight. We've got a bit of a change up in the leaderboard. Faraz is leading 38%.
What?
I'm on 33%, and Davos is just coming in.
Davos
is 21 votes. He was first.
Yeah.
Faraz has got 8 votes. I've got 7 votes. Davos got 6 votes. Bisho voted Faraz. That explains it. I reckon Faraz has got this, unless some other people join before we end off. Make sure to share the video. We want to see who has the best suit on. That's our ultimate goal here. We don't even want to talk about this.
I've never been like this, but no one else. Come on, please. Let me have this title.
Yeah, let him have the win. Let him have it. Who knows? Who knows what's happening here? Pakistan. I think we'll quickly go through. We'll quickly go through the rest. Pakistan has to be ahead of New Zealand and India. They have to be after the tournament they had. Good tournament. Finished up in the final.
Who's your player of the tournament?
Can I be honest?
Yeah.
Actually, no, they made the finals. But look, their tournament wasn't necessarily the best though. They had to rely on other results. Remember, they choked against India. I know they got robbed, but still, it goes on the results scorecard. And they lost to Zimbabwe.
But they did beat New Zealand.
That is true. They did beat South Africa. So
who do you reckon's player of the tournament? For me, the player of the tournament. I'm gonna go with Shadab Khan. I thought he was. Yeah, I thought I'll go with Shadab Khan.
I'm gonna go Iftikhar. Actually, no. I'm gonna go Shadab Khan too because he played that good knock against South Africa with a bat, and they were 40 for 4. That saved their World Cup.
Yeah. So far, Australia are the only people in bad. I don't think they had that bad of a tournament. I want to point that out.
I think
Australia.
I reckon the rest of the teams are going to join them in bad. I reckon.
Well, it's up to. It's just their standards. Australian standards. They should have been better.
Yeah, I think the other 3 should join them in the bad. To be quite honest.
We'll quickly go to Zimbabwe because they'll definitely join Australia in bad, and I reckon they'll be behind Australia.
But shout out to them though. They beat Pakistan when no one expected them to.
Very true. 1 win,
and Sean
3
Williams
losses.
And Raza had a good tournament as well. So
Zimbabwe.
I'm not even sure what's happening. South Africa. I feel like they had a decent tournament. They finished with
no way.
How do you choke that? They had the semis right there for the taking. It was right there on the platter, and they choked it. They choked
against Netherlands. Oh no!
And this is not even me hating on South Africa. Like I don't really have anything against them, but you cannot choke a World Cup like that. You were having a 1 foot on the semis. You were playing good cricket, and then
I think Sri Lanka honestly have to go bad as well because Sri Lanka, their fielding was horrible, right throughout the whole tournament. Their fielding was horrible. Their bowlers, their bowling attack is their strength. Sri Lanka, their bowling attack is their strength, and they've got some very good bowlers. Like Kumara, they got Hasaranga, they got the Wick. I can't pronounce it. The Wick. Can't pronounce his last name, but he's the mystery.
But to be fair to Sri Lanka, the games they lost, were against Australia, New Zealand, and England. You can't really expect them to.
Yeah, but think about it though. They had New Zealand 15 for 3. They got Williamson, they got Conway out, and they got Finn Allen out. Right? That's
more Phillips' class though.
Bishop says Noah, show us the suit. Stand up.
Phillips was the only one that made runs.
There we go. It's got the nice maroon shirt, the black, and the black over the top.
Maybe he'd put Sri Lanka, but I reckon you definitely put him ahead of South Africa.
Who were the games against Sri Lanka? Go through the summary. Who did they play and all that?
So they beat Afghanistan, they lost to Australia, they lost to England, and they lost to New Zealand. England, I'll give them a pass mark because they took it. No one's beating them.
They're playing Australia, Australia have to beat at home. England made the finals. They won the thing. New Zealand won the semis, and they still had New Zealand in a bit of trouble. I honestly think they were in bad. I think they were ahead of South Africa and all that for their standards as well.
Yeah, they are ahead of South Africa.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll be back 1 second, boys.
Yeah, it was unfortunate to hear about that Sri Lanka player who.
And also, you know what's funny as well? Sri Lanka won the Asia Cup against the likes of India, Pakistan. They won the Asia Cup.
I wonder what's happened with that. By the way, what happened to that guy who sexually assaulted that?
The Danishka. He's been taken to court or something. He tried to get bail and he got denied. I've got no clue after that.
Yeah, okay. He's granted bail on sexual assault charges.
Wow, how good. Anyway, that'll be our tier ranking. We've still got more to go, boys. This has actually been a pretty long stream, but this is wrapping up the whole T20 World Cup, and you do want to stick around for this one. It's not ending just yet because we'll talk about the standings heading into finals. I'll quickly read out the table. That was after all the main games had finished. In Group 1, it was New Zealand, England, Australia, Sri Lanka, Ireland, and Afghanistan. And for Group 2, it was India, Pakistan, South Africa, Netherlands, Bangladesh, and Zimbabwe. So, obviously, a full range of teams there. And obviously, the teams missing out, I'm not even going to say the teams missing out because I can't be bothered. They don't really matter. All that matters is Australia. No. But honestly, those were the teams heading into finals, the standings for that, who headed to the group stage, the Super 12 stage. And the semi-finals. Oh, sorry?
I was going to say, can we just all agree that the player of the tournament was Sam Curran?
Yeah. I think he was the overall.
Yeah.
Josh Butler, honorable mention, because he captained and was a great wicketkeeper.
Even though they didn't win, but Shaheen was also honorable mention, the way he came back with the ball.
I have even more news.
If Shaheen bowled, maybe England don't make that total, but we're never going to know, though, because...
I still think England win, but you do. Shaheen's so key to that Pakistani bowling lineup.
No, because think about it though. When Iftikhar came on,
no, we can't talk about it. I'm sorry, because England won. We're just taking credit away from them at this point.
No, I'm not. I'm not taking any credit away. I'm just saying, could this have happened? I'm not taking any credit. England were the deserved champions. I went to the game. It's actually a very good game, though.
I think we have a clear winner
because did Markwood play the last game?
What'd you say?
Did Markwood play against Pakistan?
I think he did.
Oh, I'm not sure, but yeah.
Sorry, who are we looking at here?
England. We're talking about did Markwood play for England?
No, he didn't. No, he didn't. He got.
That's incredible. Their T20 team, they deserve to win it this year.
Yeah, Chris Jordan came in and filled him brilliantly.
Yeah. Oh, Jordan's going to be. I hope he does that for the Sixers. You stupid cunt.
Hey, no. Okay. I think we have a suit winner. We'll start with that. Faraz is currently on 39% and in the lead. Davos, man, you have dropped back to 30%, buddy. I don't think we're making it past that. Congratulations to Faraz. I think he's won the suit of the night for tonight.
Can I be honest? Can I be honest?
You can be
honest. I'm surprised I'm not even last. I think you guys have the better suits than me. So I'm just making sure.
No, you've got a pretty good suit.
Yes, Fisher, I did have a voice crack just before. My voice is killing at the moment. I'm not sure why. But now, the semi-finals, we'll quickly talk about them. quickly talk about the final. So the semi-finals, obviously New Zealand versus Pakistan, and I think the other one was England versus India. Was it?
Yeah.
New Zealand versus Pakistan, obviously that was a brilliant game, and that was a great T20 semi-final. And as for India versus England, I'm not too sure I watched that. But it looked like England got home pretty comfortably.
Yeah.
170 for none after 16 overs. Oh my. Anything really to review there, boys? I mean,
Not really. I mean, to be fair, in both games, the team just Pakistan and England just absolutely dominated. Like New Zealand, like they just never got going with the bat. With the ball, they were horrible. I mean, Southee bowl, they weren't really great. India, England, it was just a Joss Butler show, to be honest. Like you don't have to say anything about Butler. He's just a friggin' freak. New Zealand chokers. As much as I hate to say it, because New Zealand's my second team, yes, they are.
They've lost like 3-4 finals in a row.
No, to be fair, they were robbed in that 2019 World Cup.
Yeah, they were robbed. They were robbed for sure, but
they were robbed.
Look, they were robbed, but yeah, it's unfortunate.
But yeah, they are chokers because in 2016 they lost to England in the T20 final, T20 World Cup semi. 2021 they lost to Australia. 2019 they lost to England. Yeah.
And finally, we'll quickly talk about the T20 World Cup final, boys. We finally got here. Obviously, that was
I went to that game. That
Pakistan versus England.
Yeah.
That was I didn't get to watch it, and I regret it.
No, it was a brilliant game.
Yeah.
See, I thought when Bubba and Rizwan got off to that start, it wasn't the best start, but it was a good start. Right? I honestly thought they would go on, but just the key was Pakistan had two batters that did not go on with. Shad Khan played well. Wait, is it Shab or Shad?
Shut up.
So not Shadab, the left arm batter who batted at forwards. Huh? No, not Iftikhar.
Who are you talking about? Like
Shan
Shan
Masood.
Shan Masood, yeah. Shan Masood played well. And so did Bubba, but they didn't go on with their scores. Like
they were 121 for 4, and
they made. But to Pakistan's credit, though, they did bowl really well considering the score that they did. But England were just world class with their bowling. Like Chris Jordan was fantastic. Adil Rashid had a very underrated game. Sam Curran was good as always.
Sam Curran 3 for 12 from 4 overs in the final. That's leaking 3 runs and over and getting a wicket pretty much every over.
What's one thing that you boys have learned from this World Cup T20? Like, what's one thing you've learned? For me, one thing I've learned from this World Cup is that Sam Curran is the best dead bowler in the world. That guy at the dead. I've never seen someone nail the Yorkers as much as him.
One thing I've learned from this tournament is it's a bit of a cliche, but you never underestimate like the lower ranked teams, for example, like Netherlands, Afghanistan. Because think about it, everyone expected South Africa to beat Netherlands, right? Netherlands won. No one expected Zimbabwe to beat Pakistan. Zimbabwe won. So never underestimate any of those teams because on their day, they're actually good teams.
I underestimate them.
But that will just about wrap us up. We're closing in on an hour here. I just want to say a quick thank you for 120 subscribers. Thank you to everyone who's joined tonight and voted on the Suits debate. Faraz, congratulations on winning the best suit of the night. How do you feel about winning the best suit of the night?
I honestly think that you guys were more deserving winners, but obviously the crowd loved me for a reason, so I'll just take that title for tonight.
Would you say we were robbed like Bangladesh?
No.
That'll just about do us here tonight. Usually Lachlan closes out, but I'll close out for tonight. Thank you everyone for watching. If you aren't already, go subscribe. Subscribe to our YouTube channel, obviously that you're on right now. Go follow our Instagram at the Final Siren Podcast. I'll keep you updated on there whenever we're posting, whenever we're going to go live. We only really do our videos in live now instead of posting it pre-recorded. We'll do that so we can talk to the audience a bit more, get people talking in the chat. Feel free to watch some of our other videos I would personally recommend the live commentaries if you haven't actually seen the games already. Those are long, but those are fun as well. Make sure you also go look at our recent series, which was the tier ranking, halves pairings, forwards packs, and backlines for the NRL season last year, and the reaction to the NRL draw. It's all there for you guys to watch. Feel free to go watch it now, and we'll see you in the next one. Lachlan won't be back. Actually, I forgot to announce this. Lachlan won't be back for another week or two.
Another week he won't be
He's
back.
gone to schoolies, I believe. So yeah, it'll just be us three for the next few days. I think we have got a video coming out to you tomorrow. We'll try and discuss it tonight, see if we can make it work. But tomorrow the plan is.
We're also going to be reviewing the Australia-England series when that concludes.
Yeah. Sorry, what was it? Reviewing the
when
the
Australia-England
ODI.
series
We'll possibly be reviewing that. I guess it sort of depends how it goes. Depends how much interest there is from the fans. We mainly do the streams for the fans. Great live stream. Thank you so much, Luke, Melbourne Storm fan. And but yeah, Lachlan won't be back for a while. It'll just be us three. Tomorrow, I'll try and discuss with the lads, see if they can do it. But we will try and get a Rugby League World Cup predictions for the final out because Samoa versus Australia. What a game that's going to be! I'm gonna be staying up all night to watch that one.
Yeah, that'll be good.
So that one we'll be trying to head your way about 7:30 tomorrow if we can make it work. That way you can watch that. Then later that night you can watch the game. Earlier the next morning you can watch the game. 2 a.m. Queensland time, 3 a.m. New South Wales time if you didn't already know. But yeah, that'll wrap us up. Thanks so much for joining, and we'll see you in the next stream, lads.